To talk about some crazy shit. I was with the Diaz brothers. I was a personal photographer for a while, and bro, that stuff that they started with Mayhem, that was crazy. But they're that way with anybody, man. I remember one time like this dude was just like taking a picture of Nate, and Nick freaked out, just grabbed his phone and smashed it, and grabbed the dude by his face and just slammed his head into the fucking wall. I'm Hall of Fame photographer Don McGuire, and I'm chatting with Staxx. Make sure you check him out.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Don McGuire.
Motion we get, and bro, I loved it when it went to where you just handed the promotion the card. It's like
Did you hand them all these pictures? Like, were you
no.
were you
Well,
in like
when we
a
went,
black room and all that, like a darked out
oh,
room?
back in the day, I was in a black room. Yeah,
Yeah.
back in the day, yeah. But once we went to digital, you know, at first we'd have, like they'd have little receivers under camera, and it would automatically, go over to somebody with a computer. But there was a lot of promotions that you just gave them your card at the end of the night because they owned everything, and they would just give you back the money for your card or an identical card. And I loved it because it didn't mean that. Because everybody used to think, that, well, let's say the fight ended at midnight. My, my day was just half of it was over the fight. The other half was just beginning. Now I had to edit, and then you had to hurry up and get up to the promotion like in 2-3 hours. So when I'm talking about editing, going through thousands of pictures, you have to do this in 2-3 hours, bro.
And you're talking about pre-fight and before the fight and before
Well,
the
no,
show. You're there, right, for all this stuff.
yeah. But pre-fight, I'd get the weigh-in photos. Hell, I killed them, bro. That's one thing I will say, and it ain't bragging. I could go through a weigh-ins, and you're not going to have to edit any of my pictures. I mean, you can't shoot a weigh-in without having to edit your pictures. You don't even need to be there. But I after the fight, I'd maybe 2-3 hours. The promotion would have the pictures back, and then, like I said, a lot of them really went to where we just had a transmitter on our camera, shoot, goes right back to them, and it's already out on the internet before the next fight even starts. So I kind of dig that part of it, but I hung my cameras up in 21. Uh, I was set to go out on 6 months worth of work, 5.5, 6 months worth of work. And the first event was going to be Cave Dave Van Rickles in Wichita. And I got a call from BKFC that the event was canceled due to the COVID. And then it was like phone call after phone call after phone call after phone call, man. And it was like I felt like my heart just drop out of my chest. And it's like, then my wife went to work the next day to find out she was laid off. And I was like, what the hell?
It's all about the pandemic
Yeah,
striking, right?
yeah. And then after about 2 weeks, because she applied for unemployment, got $33, and
Wow.
we're kind of just ripping through our savings because I had to replace a roof and do some other things, and so it was like we didn't know what the hell we were going to do. And then they opened up for curbside, and the owner of the restaurant said, "Hey, you can do this," to my wife, "but you're gonna have to work double shifts, 6-7 days a week." My wife said, "I'm gonna do whatever it takes to take care of my family." So she did it, man, and thank God things opened up, and hasn't been the best 2.5, 3 years. I was sitting in a situation like this with the world champion Virgil Hill, and I had a heart attack on the show 3 years ago.
Really?
And oh yeah, and I was doing the show. I knew something wasn't right, but I
Did you
didn't know what.
feel it? Did you feel like a pain
Yeah, I started.
somewhere?
Well, it wasn't really a pain though, bro. It was more a feeling of feeling sick, and then like I had to grab the table because like everything kind of got yellowish, and then like a tunnel vision, and I could start feeling the vein in my neck to start throbbing. I just I didn't feel right. It was like something ain't right. And I usually, man, you watch my shows. Uh, they're usually it's up to my guests when they want to end. Because I do it live. So I mean, it could be anywhere from an hour to three freaking hours long.
Yeah, sometimes you just go with it, right?
Yeah, and so like 34 minutes in, I look at Virgil Hill and I said, "Hey, champ, I apologize. We're gonna have to cut today's show
Was it
a
live?
little bit short." Yeah, I had a heart attack on live radio, bro. It's like
Yo, I'll
it
put a
was.
clip into the I'll put a clip of it into this if you don't mind of that.
Yeah, I'll have to go back. It's not the last interview with Virgil Hill, but the one before that. It's like 2 years, 3 years ago. Um, and it blew my mind, bro, because I I didn't know what was wrong. And as soon as I ended the show, my wife comes up because she's generally in the other room, watching. And she comes out to the studio and she's like, and I said, I gotta go to bed. Honestly, that's the first words out of my mouth after I got off the show. I gotta go to bed. I don't feel right. And so I went in there and I laid down and it was like, oh man, something ain't right. So we ended up going to the hospital and a bunch of bull crap. Ended up having to stay. And next thing I know, my cardiologist is telling me there's nothing else he can do for me. And then he sends me to Ellis Fissel, not Ellis Fissel, but Barnes Jewish up in St. Louis. Great big medical, facility for heart disease and other things like that. A specialty hospital.
Yeah, it's like
And
like a
yeah, so I go up there and I see this supposedly world-renowned specialist goes through and changes all my medication, fixes me up, cleans the arteries out on my kidney, and does everything else. Get roto-rooter, get all fixed up, and changes all my medicine. And I come home and I pretty much went to sleep for about 2 weeks straight, bro. Just going to the bathroom was like running a freaking marathon. And so one day my wife had went and bought a blood pressure cuff, took my blood pressure, and it was like 80 over 49. And so we called my primary care doctor because Barnes Jewish was trying to add some more medication to me, and I'd already told my wife I wasn't taking any more heart medication. And so this lady from Barnes Jewish calls me and tells me, you're gonna take this. I said, no. And so I'll call. I mean, call my doctor. I don't give two shits who you call, And so I went in and saw my primary care, and she said, "Man, thank God you stopped taking that medicine. You saved your own life." Dude, it turns out, like I said, my blood pressure was so low
it's
that,
like a faint pulse and shit. Like, and it was from the
well,
meds, right? Because it
yeah,
lowered your pulse so that blood
lowered
could
my
go
blood
through.
pressure and everything. I
Yeah.
was lethargic. All I did was sleep. My wife would have to wake me up to take my medicine. Like I said, going to take a piss was truly like running a marathon.
Yeah, you're just like, whoa, you don't even know what's going on.
No, and excuse me. Uh, so I stopped taking my heart medication about a month and a half, and then my blood pressure started to come back up and come back to being normal, and so everything was cool. And then I started having the situations with my leg, but you know, uh, see, like
Have
I
you
said, man,
dealt have you dealt with any health problems before this point in your life?
oh, bro, I've been through 250 surgeries, bro.
What was the
Um,
first surgery?
Man, I know, but that one's kind of a
Oh, you don't got to talk about that. Or what
yeah.
was like one of the major ones that like a health scare, and what brung it on for you to even know that there was a problem?
When is when I found out that I was diabetic and had been misdiagnosed for 30 years. Apparently I was a juvenile diabetic, and nobody had caught it. And by the time I found out, they were cutting part of my foot off. They were taking my toes and part of my foot from gangrene and osteomyelitis. And it was a trip how it happened, because I came home and I noticed some blood was on my socks. I took my sock off, and it looked like, maybe the steel toe caught my nail and it tore it off. So it's like my old lady said, okay, we'll just take care of it, put
How
some
long?
Neosporin.
How long ago was this?
Oh, fuck, dude. 30 years ago, you know? And so my wife tried to clean it up. And the next morning, I went to look to see if it was all right. So I pulled my foot, the toe next to it. You hear a loud pop, and it cracked all the way down to the bone, bro, the toe next to it. And so
What?
I looked at, yeah, bro, because I had osteomyelitis and gangrene. And
Was it
so,
a color, or was it like different color? Was it like regular purple?
nah, bro, it wasn't. I mean, I'm brown, so I could, but it looked maybe a little bit darker than usual. But uh, the pinky toe that I tore the nail off, we had it bandaged up, so really couldn't look at that. That's what I was trying to do, was pull it. And when I did, like I said, the tip of it just split, and all you could see was just inside my toe, the meat, the bone, everything. So I told my old lady, and she said, "Yeah, I think we better go to the hospital." And so I went in, and that was the beginning of them cutting, parts of my body off. And that's what people don't understand about diabetes. See, man, this ring announcer, I'm not going to say his name. I should blast him, but I don't roll like that, bro. But there's this ring announcer that called me the other day and said that people were saying that the reason I've been so sick in life is because I didn't take care of myself. Well, first of all, like I said, I was 30 years old when I first found out I was diabetic. And from all this happening, I'm 60 years old now. I've been through 250 surgeries. Matter of fact, I just had 3 surgeries in the last month and a half. I've had 6 surgeries since August. And people are going to say it's because I'm not, well, theoretically, he said that people were saying that I'm like this because I don't take care of myself. Well, let me educate you a little bit, Mister. Uh, God, I want to say a name, but I won't roll like that, bro. I won't roll like that. But it's like I didn't have a choice in them taking my leg off above the knee. It's not like you could just say, and it's like diabetes is a disease that takes bits and pieces of you until it kills you. You don't hear me cry about that. Hell, I've been missing my leg was below the knee for 15, 16 years. Some of my greatest work came from it, from the sport with me like that. And now people are going to try to tell me that I'm sick because I'm not taking care of myself. Bro, I'd have been dead a long time ago if I
People
didn't
just
take care of
people
myself.
just talking, man. You know?
Well, it goes back to this. Okay, I just posted the pictures of this. And then all of a sudden it was like this onslaught of just pathetic hate. And bro, it had me sit back and go, do I really even want to do this anymore? Because this world is already fucked up. And now I've never bragged about anything. I could have a shelf behind me with my Emmys, my SBs, all my lifetime achievement awards. I could have all my other rings on my hands right now. I could have, trophies and belts all around me. I don't give a fuck about that, bro. I don't give two shits about that. I'm not here for fame. I'm not here for money. I'm here to help motherfuckers out that remind me of me. Like I said, I was that homeless kid, 16 years old on that porch stoop. And a tremendous man gave me an opportunity in life. And that's all I've done for 39 years is give to those that deserve that opportunity like that tremendous man gave me. And I ain't never taken from anybody in this sport. If you truly know me, ask my sponsors how much they pay me. Ask them, any of them. Ask them how much they pay me. Ask Joe Rice from Bite Me Mouth Guards. He's been sponsoring me for 7, 8 years. He paid me 2 boxes of candy bars. Bro, I'm not about. Ask my fighters that I manage. Ask the cruiserweight world champion Anthony Holmes in the UK. Ask him how much money did I take out of his pocket when he won the world title. He'll tell you zero. It ain't about me, man. That's it. Payment enough for me is getting these people opportunities. See, so the ones that want to hate on me, and y'all need to look back in the mirror because you hear about you. I'm not here for me. No, I've already accomplished what I set out to accomplish. I told my wife I was going to put my family's name in history. She gave up her dreams so I could live mine. I've done that. Why else am I here? It's because I care. I want to see the next future of this wonderful sport in all genres succeed. Because let's face it, everybody want to make it about the paper in their pocket or the likes or the follows that they get. I don't give two shits. You hear me on my show. If you don't like my show, don't fucking watch it.
I say the same thing, man. Fucking Kick Rocks. The suggestion box, man, is right up their ass. They can fold a piece of paper and shove it up their ass.
Hey, I pay my motherfucking bill. I bring on who I want to bring on. You see who I bring on. See, the only thing
Straight
we
legends,
talked,
man.
yeah,
Legends.
but we talked about this earlier. And it's like it's a respect thing for me, and I'm the only show out there that really lets the fighters tell their side of the story. I've had legends talk about the death of their children, like Daniel Cormier right before UFC 200. Talked about the loss of his daughter. Todd Medina talking about the loss of his child. I've had people say, don't ask me about this world title. Ask me where I was 18 months ago. I was addicted to crack and meth and what is this shit? I can't even think of that. Heroin. Heroin. And he said, man, ask me where I was 18 months ago. I was addicted to crack, heroin, and whatever, man. Fuck you, get what I'm saying? And I said, well, why do you tell that story? He said, because I want people to realize that know how far down in the bottom of the barrel you are. You can climb out that barrel. And not only can you climb out that barrel, you can still live your dreams. And he said, I'm living proof of it. And he just won a world title. And bro, talk about getting your mind blown. It blew my mind because here I'm wanting to talk about his world title. And he cracked it down the facts.
He wants to talk about 18 months ago. He was smoking crack and doing heroin.
Yeah. But he broke it down real on. Man, I'm usually the one that breaks it down real on my show. And Jared Gordon broke it down real for me on my show, and I respect the hell out of Jared Gordon. If you ever get a chance to interview the man, deep soul, bro, real deep soul. That man come from some darkness into the light, bro, and I couldn't be more proud of Jared Gordon, man. You see him, he's in the UFC still cracking the whip and handling this business. See, that's what life is about. Like you see my show Tuesday, this Tuesday coming up. He just fought this last Friday in Bellator MMA on the 17th anniversary of Strikeforce. And
Was it in California, the fight?
yeah, yeah,
I knew about it.
yeah. So Linton Vassell, the heavyweight, he's coming on my show this Tuesday, but what most people don't know, Linton Vassell's been in my life for the last 12 years, 12, 13 years. Same with Liam McGuire. I mean, once you come into my life, you don't leave my life because then you understand who I am if I want you to. Then you kind of get a understanding. But my show is to showcase the man behind the fighter, to show that walk, what it took into greatness. Nobody else out there is doing it. They want to show you what's happening now. Fuck, there's 100,000 radio shows showing you what's happening now. You know, I want to put that man on bended knee and have him lay that stone and then talk about the path that he built. You know, that's what I want. I want to know your struggles, your adversities, how many times you fell and how many times you got back up. And I've been known to make quite a few legends cry because when it comes from here and it ain't on a piece of paper, it's real. And I don't even know where my shows are going, bro. I don't know where my shows are going. I don't write down nothing. All I do, man, I'll tell everybody my secret. I think that whole day or the 2 days before the show of an opening question. And if I can't damn well get a 4, 5, 6 minute answer from that opening question, then I ain't doing my job. But if I do, then I better damn well sit back and listen because that's what the rest of my show is based off of. It's what they give me. See, if people listen, just take the time and listen. They'll tell you a story within a story. And that's how I do my show, bro. I mean, like I said, there's no, I never went to broadcasting school. You know, back 20 years ago, I was with ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. I did a show with Chris Mathews, same Chris Mathews from Hardball. Ended up getting tired of that shit because I don't like corporate people. And a man from the United Way, Mr. Juan Martinez, called me up and asked me to come back to radio. And I said, nah, man, fuck all that. And he said, bruh, you're the only one that can tell a fighter's testimony and story the way that you do. And I said, you son of a bitch. And it hit me right here, bro. And like I said, I don't care how many followers I have. My syndicated radio show got to be 4th in the world. You know, when the pandemic hit, we didn't have the $26,000 a year for a studio. You know, so went to the next best thing. You know, most of the country was locked up. Where I live, we wasn't. But I went to what you're doing, utilize, you know, StreamYard. It's new for me because I'm used to doing my magic behind the mic without nobody seeing me, you know, smoking a cigarette, smoking a blunt, doing whatever the fuck I feel like it, but getting down to the heart of what matters, bro. And it's like I've interviewed everybody from Steve O to you name it, to Leland Chapman, to icons in music, B.B. King, Ted Nugent. I mean, you just name it. Bone Thugs and Harmony. I mean, well, bro, it's like my grandfather taught me diversity is the key. Don't ever stay in one box. So when I started shooting concerts way back when, then I realized I was like, why am I just stuck to doing a sports show? And so I started backstage with Don McGuire. Really ended up didn't put too much on there, but still kept doing, like, because music's very special to me, just like boxing. So like if I do a music, or a boxing special, then you know it's right here. And not to take anything away from MMA or any other sport, but you know, I don't want to water those down or taint those because that's who I am. And so it's like I remember having Nate White, a dude from Springfield, very talented artist. He has Nate White music. He just came out with 3 albums. He's in Brand of Freak and Interrogation Point. Randy knows who he is. And so I brought him on a show with me with Bone Thugs and Harmony. And he came on after him. And he's all texting me. He's like, bruh, you got Bone Thugs and Harmony. You got one of them talking about getting shot 8 times, falling from a 3-story building. How the fuck you expect me to come on after that?
Top that one.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, you got a point there, bro. But hey, man, he came on.
I know
Made
with
magic.
I know with the you shooting a lot of fights, you've probably seen tons of drama go down at these fights.
Yeah.
What's some of the drama at these events that stand out in your mind?
Drama, I mean, from the fans or behind stage?
Anything behind stage, maybe something happened during a fight, maybe it got shut down, anything.
I just like, man, honestly, I'll be liking it at weigh-ins, bro, when like these people try to show off or try to buck up and end up getting sat down, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a firm believer if you're a man and I'm a man, because I'm taking pictures of it, but I'm putting myself in their shoes. And so like for somebody to just to crack off on somebody while they're at each other's face, but you know, to talk about some crazy shit. I was with the Diaz brothers. I was a personal photographer for a while, and bro, that stuff that they started with Mayhem, that was crazy. But they're that way with anybody, man. You know, I remember one time like this dude was just like taking a picture of Nate, and Nick freaked out, just grabbed his phone and smashed it and grabbed the dude by his face and just slammed his head into the fucking wall. And I was just like, and that's so fucked up on so many levels.
That was at a show.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck? One of those
Oh,
fans just.
But the Diaz brothers don't care.